Mansfield, Texas is a city that we're featuring today. We're talking affordability, we're talking lifestyle, we're talking real estate, we're talking about it all. But in order for us to do that, first, we need to understand where in the heck Mansfield, Texas even is. Mansfield is a suburban city in the central south part of the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. Now, the city itself is mostly in Tarrant County with some small parts in Ellis and Johnson counties as well. Mansfield is located 25 minutes from downtown Fort Worth and about 40 minutes from downtown Dallas. Now, if you're looking to get to the airport from Mansfield, you're looking at about 30 minutes. Now, as we do in this channel, let's apply our handy dandy how far can I go in 30-minute test. Now, this is designed to give you a realistic idea of how far you can travel within 30 minutes. So as you can see, you can cover just about everything in Fort Worth. You can get anywhere within Arlington. You can cover all of Grand Prairie. You can start approaching the southwest part of Dallas. You can get to Cedar Hill, Midlothian, Waxahachie, Alvarado, and Cleburne, Burleson, and Crowley within 30 minutes as well. So now that we know where in the world Mansfield, Texas even is, I want to take a quick second and welcome you to the go-to real estate channel for the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. So don't forget to hit that like button because that helps the channel out tremendously. Alright, so let's get back to Mansfield, Texas, because this is what you came for. Mansfield is a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex with a population of 70,000. Now, Mansfield itself was incorporated in 1909, so you can see that it has over 100 years of history. And as far as the climate is concerned, your hottest months are going to be in July and August with an average high of 94 degrees and an average low of 72. Now, if you go to the complete opposite and look at the coldest temperatures, those are going to be found in December and in January, where your average high is going to be 56 degrees and your average low is going to be 33. And while many of you may be looking at Mansfield as a place to live and you're going to commute to work to places like Fort Worth and Dallas, understand that there are some large employers in Mansfield that you might want to look at. The largest employer for Mansfield is Mouser Electronics with over 2,000 employees. The second largest employer is Methodist Mansfield Medical Center with over 1,400 employees. The third largest employer in Mansfield is Klein Tools with over 700 employees. The fourth largest is Hoffman Cabinets with over 500. And the fifth largest employer in the city of Mansfield is actually the city of Mansfield itself with almost 500 employees. So as you can see, there is opportunity for employment within Mansfield in addition to living there. And speaking of living in Mansfield, here's how the demographics break down. 72% are college graduates. 46% of the residents in Mansfield have children. The average household in Mansfield has 2.9 people. The average income in Mansfield is $103,000, and the average age in Mansfield is 35. Now, all of that was just demographic information. Let's actually hear from the residents of Mansfield themselves. Here's what one current resident had to say. My parents moved our family to Mansfield back in 2006, and I lived here ever since. I've watched it blossom into a lovely suburb with beautiful parks, a charming historic downtown area, and plenty of restaurants and retail stores. The people are diverse and generally friendly. The schools are wonderful, and one of the main reasons my parents moved us here, and I truly enjoy calling this place home. I now have a family of my own, which just makes me appreciate the Mansfield life even more. Another resident had this to say. Mansfield is a very nice area. There are plenty of schools, restaurants, and grocery stores in this area. There's a Lifetime Fitness gym, which is one of the nicest gyms I've been to. There are a lot of neighborhoods throughout the whole area. There aren't any, or if so, not many bars in this area, so the violence is not high at all, especially when you compare it to Dallas. The commute to Dallas, Arlington, and Fort Worth is less than 30 minutes, so if you want to hang out, the places aren't too far. The Cowboys Stadium, Baseball Stadium, and Maverick Stadium are all about 20 minutes away. The people in this area are friendly, and they keep you updated on the things that are going on next door. Joe Pool Lake is less than 3 minutes away, so if you have a boat or like to go fishing, there's a perfect spot for you. The only downside would be that there are so many schools because of the speed limit restrictions. Another resident wanted to share this. Mansfield is a very nice community. It does surprisingly well for diversity. The school system is one of the best in the area. The nightlife leaves much room to be desired, but there are several parks in the area which creates some opportunity for getting in touch with nature. And the last resident we'll feature today says Mansfield is a really good community and has many small shops and places to go to. It is a small area that is growing bigger as new people are moving in. There are many great homes and it is an overall good community. There are some expensive homes, but it's it's overall nice to live in. All right, so now that we've heard from the current residents, let's look at the park situation, because you might like going to parks, or you might like taking your kids to the park, or you might have some pets that are eager to get out there. Now, this is what the park situation looks like in Mansfield, and as you can see, you have options. Now, for our purposes today, we're only going to feature a few of the more popular parks out there, and the one requirement that we have is that they must have a higher rating than a 4.5 out of 5. So first, let's look at Elmer W. Oliver Nature Park. Now let's look at Clayton W. Chandler Park. Now let's check out Catherine Rose Memorial Park. Now, when it comes to schools, I'm going to give you a good resource that's going to be linked down below. What I'm going to share with you today is where the schools are located, so you can see where in the community, where in the city you can find the schools that you might have heard about. Legacy High School, Jerry Knight STEM Academy, Mansfield High School, the Phoenix Academy, Mary Jo Shepherd Elementary, Annette Perry Elementary School, Elizabeth Smith Innovative Learning Academy, J.L. Boren Elementary School, Willie E. Brown Academy of Young Scholars, Danny Jones Middle School, Mary Lillard Intermediate School, Nancy Neal Elementary School, Donna Shepherd Leadership Academy, Mary Orr Intermediate School, Frontier High School, Alice Ponder Elementary School, Lake Ridge High School, Irma Nash Elementary, Newman International Academy of Mansfield, Dr. Sarah K. Jandruko Academy for Early Learners. Now, one quick favor before we get into the real estate portion of our video today. If you're finding value in the information that you're seeing on the video today, please share it with somebody that you want to know about Mansfield. The typical home value for homes in Mansfield is $422,000. This value is seasonally adjusted and only includes the middle price tier of homes. Mansfield home values have gone up 28.4% over the past year. Now, if you're curious on what the past 10 years have looked like, this gives you a representation of how the prices have changed over the past 10 years, and then you can see the rise from 2021 to 2022. And given that we're talking about real estate in Texas, I have to prep you for the property taxes, which if you're coming from a different state, you might see them as high. Now, the average tax rate for Mansfield is 2.72%, and that's broken up by the city, Mansfield ISD, Tarrant County Hospital District, and Tarrant County College. Now, I know you may be thinking that is a lot of property tax that I have to pay, and in some respect, you might be right. However, not all is lost. There are some exemptions that you can apply to your property and to yourself if you qualify. All right, so I know I just gave you a lot of numbers. We talked about property taxes, we talked about average prices, and at the end of the day, those are just numbers. I want to share with you visually how much home you can afford by actually sharing with you the homes that are available for sale right now. So we're going to start off on my website and we're going to search for Mansfield. Now, right off the bat, I want you to see something. Mansfield, Texas has about 315 homes that are being sold on average for $546. Now, you may be thinking, well, Jaime, that is incredibly different than what you just shared from Zillow. And you would be right, because properties have increased and they continue to increase, and Zillow's numbers are months back. So that's where the disconnect is going. So that's why I find it so important that we go in real time so you can see the homes that are available today. So we're going to take out all of these because we're interested in single families. We're not going to worry about beds. We're not going to worry about baths. What we're interested at the moment is seeing what that average price point will actually give us. So we're going to say 400 to 450, which is the average price point that we saw from Zillow number earlier. And then we're going to move up in price range. First, I just want to share with you what the previous average will actually buy you. Now let's feature a few homes that are available for sale right now. Let's check this one out in the northern part of Mansfield. All right, so that home that we just toured is $425,000 as of this recording. Now let's get into the center of Mansfield. Well, as I say that, I fear that this might not have some high quality images, and it does not. So folks, it is important that you hire a professional real estate agent that will actually take some professional photos for you. So we're gonna scrap that one, and this one does, it's even got that sunset look. So for this one at $450,000, let's check it out. All right, so that one was offered at $450,000. Now let's go to the south part of Mansfield and see this one and see what it is about. Now, okay, this is one that we are not going to feature. So again, folks, it is important that you hire a professional real estate agent. So I guess I have to do a shameless plug here that I spend hundreds of dollars on photography, drone footage, videos to really showcase my homes, and I certainly wouldn't put a, this is just bad, sorry. Let's find another one. Let's check this out. 415. Let's check this one out. Now again, the average price point for Mansfield was about $422,000 recently. And the three homes that we just saw together all fall within that price point. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna bump up that price to $650,000 to showcase what that will buy you in Mansfield. All right, so our filters right now range from $600,000 to $700,000. So we're gonna click through here. All right, so this one's priced at $626,000. All right, so as a quick reminder, the homes that we just featured most likely by the time you're watching this video are no longer available. So if you want the complete list of homes that are available in Mansfield, then check out the link down below. So now that we've looked at Mansfield and giving you an idea lifestyle-wise what it can look like, and we've even looked at some real estate, it's time to see what a mortgage payment looks like. All right, so we're here on Bankrate and we're gonna use their mortgage calculator. For our purposes today, we're gonna assume that the property we're gonna purchase is gonna be about $450,000. That's what we're gonna purchase the property for. For our purposes today as well, we're gonna use 20% down. Now, here's one thing very important to know is that you don't have to put 20% down. The reason I'm doing this is for simple math and also to avoid a PMI. So the PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which typically adds anywhere from 0.5 to 1.5% additional percentage points to your interest rate. I don't want to muddy the waters. I just want to give you the reason why we're going with 20% today. All right, and for our purposes today at this time of this recording, we're gonna go with 5% interest rate is reasonable. Now, if I was making this video a year ago, a reasonable interest rate would have been 2.5. So as you can see, I'll just show you how important and impactful the interest rate is. So we're gonna use 5% right now, which look at the payment. And now look what happens if we were to get an interest rate of 2 points less. It moves it by $400, right? So that is, that's how important it is. But to give you realistic scenarios of what's happening right now, we're gonna put 5% interest rate. Now we're not gonna worry too much about the zip code because we're gonna do something with that here shortly. The credit score, we're also not gonna worry about that because this actually doesn't change anything for us. What we are gonna worry about is what property taxes are going to look like with our mortgage payment. So the criteria that we're looking for is the what is the assessed value of the property. Now, this is actually not the assessed value. This is the retail value. This is the market value. This is what we purchase a property for. But chances are that your assessed value, which is the value that your county gives to your property, chances are it's going to be less than this. Chances are that if somebody sold the property for $450,000, most likely the home value is being assessed by the county by for $350,000, for $400,000, so it's going to be less. Now, just giving you a little bit more information than you bargained for, but just giving you the distinction between market value, which is what you purchase a property for, and the county assessed value, how much you are being taxed from, and what your property is being valued at from the county's eyes. So from our purposes today, I'm gonna make two big assumptions. One big assumption is that you're gonna live in this property and you're gonna be able to apply a homestead exemption because you are gonna live in the property. And then the other assumption is that the home that you're buying most likely is not being assessed at its full market value, which is rarely the case. So what I'm gonna say here is, although we're purchasing the property for $400,000, I'm gonna give a conservative assessment that you're gonna pay taxes on $400,000 worth. That's going to be what your CAD, what your county appraisal district is assessing your home to be valued at. I know it's a lot of information there, but just wanted you to know that. Now, if we recall, the property tax was 2.72% on average. So we're going to multiply 2.72% times $400,000. Again, that I'm using the assessed. I'm making some assumptions here, and that's going to leave us about almost $11,000. So we're going to go with $11,000, and we're we're going to divide that by 12, which is going to be the 12 months of the year. And that's going to leave us $916. Again, I'm making a lot of assumptions, and you might not have bargained for this detail when you clicked on the video. So hopefully you can appreciate it, and we've earned your like button today. And now for the homeowner's insurance, since it is all over the board, it depends on how old the property is. It depends on any previous history on claims that have been made on the property. I'm just gonna put $200 a month. Your home insurance is gonna be roughly around there. It could be more, of course. It could be slightly less, but we're just going to make an educated guess that the insurance right now is going to be $200 a month. The PMI, since we did 20% down, we are avoiding the PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, so we're not going to add anything else to that. And if you are in an HOA, we're just going to let's put $200 for your HOA, which is a little bit on the high end. It depends on the property that you're in, but we're going to put something in here just so you have a full picture of what it looks like. So if we purchase a property for that, down payment is 20%, loan term is 30 years, our interest is 5, and then this information really doesn't change anything for our payment breakdown. Property taxes is roughly $11,000. Homeowner's insurance is going to be roughly $200. HOA is $200. This is what you can expect to pay monthly for a home in Mansfield. Now, of course, everyone's situation is different. If you want a detailed breakdown of what your personal scenario can look like, what your personal situation looks like from a dollars and cents perspective, then check out the link down below where we can discuss that. But as we know, real estate is not the only thing we have to consider when we're thinking about where we're going to live. We need to look at the entire picture. We need to know about affordability. So I want to share with you what living in Mansfield looks like. So the median home price is roughly $450,000, which we knew already. The median rent is $1,400. The average energy bill is $168. The average phone bill is roughly $180. And while gas says $2.74 here, it did have a recent spike up to about $4 right now. So just keep that in mind. Now, as we look at food, a loaf of bread can cost you a little bit over $3. A gallon of milk, $1.80. A carton of eggs, $1.68. A bunch of bananas, $3.11. A hamburger, just shy of $4. And when we look at healthcare, you can expect a doctor's visit to average around $108, a dentist visit to be about $93, an optometrist $101, an average prescription cost of $430, and a veterinary visit of $57. So if we compare the cost of living in Mansfield to the national average, you can see that the cost of living overall is more expensive in Mansfield. Housing is going to cost about 29% more. Utilities is going to be about the same. Groceries, you're actually going to pay less in utilities, and transportation is going to cost you about 5% more than the national average. So at this point, you might be thinking Mansfield is the place for me. So if that's the case, then check out the link down below. However, if you're not sold on Mansfield, you like a lot of the qualities that Mansfield has, but you would rather continue looking at other cities, then some comparable cities for you to look at are going to be Burleson, and it's going to be Midlothian. And of course, if there's a city that we haven't covered on this YouTube channel, then let us know in the comments section down below for us to feature it. And if you're looking to either save money or make money in your next real estate transaction, then the link to work with us is down below, and I'll talk to you soon.